All right, I think we are ready almost. Just making sure that this is all set up to go. Yes, it's up. Okay, we put that out of the way. Hey there. Hi, I'm Elizabeth Hughes, and today I want to talk about how trying really hard to be a good doctor can actually backfire and have the opposite effect, make you a less good doctor. Okay, this whole concept came to me today because I had sent an article to a friend who, and I just wanted her to read it and say, what do you think about this? And she replied, she hadn't read the article because, quote, I have time for nothing. This is what she said. I have time for nothing. And I see this pattern so often. People are overwhelmed with their practice, overwhelmed with their clinical duties. They are working from a sense of obligation, both to their patients and to their other doctors, to their organization, to their profession, to their personal mission. And they get to the point where overwhelm is taking over. And they're doing it all in the name of being a good doctor. And I want people to be a good doctor. I definitely want people to be a good doctor. But allowing this degree of overwhelm, this degree of being so busy that you don't have any bandwidth for anything else, that is dangerous and harmful. Not just to you, but to your patients, your colleagues, your organization, and your mission. It's actually not healthy to tolerate that level of overwhelm uh, for anyone involved. And there's a couple reasons here. And let me go through the two reasons here that are true. First off, when people are highly, highly stressed, and we know this, when people are highly stressed, they do not think with the full capacity of their brain. The neurologic changes that occur, I won't go into them, but basically you run on just part of your brain. And the blood flow to that part of your brain, the frontal cortex or the prefrontal cortex, that makes your decisions, that synthesizes information, that has judgment, all of the things that doctors need. When you are highly, highly stressed for whatever reason, doesn't have to be a tiger chasing you. When you're highly stressed, that part of your brain doesn't work, and you are literally functioning on a brain that isn't the full extent of the intellectual medical brain. But we doctors need all that part. We need to see those nuances. We need to be able to connect the dots. We need to be able to manage complex situations. And you cannot do that in a state of constant overwhelm. You just can't. And doctors like to think they can multitask and like to think that they can handle high stress situations. That might be a point of pride, right? I'm a good doctor. I can handle all of this. It doesn't work. And study after study shows that multitasking doesn't work, that a person is not actually as good at any of the tasks than someone who focuses and does a single task, right? But doctors believe that's another part of being a good doctor. That's a little bit of sense of pride. I can handle it all. So when you are in a state where you are tolerating a state of overwhelm, for the sake of being a good doctor, you're not thinking like a good doctor. Like your brain literally cannot function like a good doctor. But here's the second thing. When doctors discount the time, when doctors discount the impact of being overwhelmed for themselves, they also then discount it in their patients. When doctors discount the importance of time to get sufficient sleep, time to spend with friends, time to laugh, time to have a hobby, connect with other people, whatever it is, eat lunch without working, eat dinner without working at the same time, right? Which doctors do all the time. Me, years of never just sitting and eating lunch. Never happened. Don't go out to lunch. You work during lunch. So when doctors discount that, the importance of that for themselves, they are blind to how important it is for the patients they treat, right? The, uh, this vision to me comes of a person who is perpetually on a treadmill and is exhausted, and yet the treadmill doesn't stop, and going and going and going, and then is trying to help another person who's also on a treadmill to who might have, let's say, I don't know. Well, just trying to help another person on the treadmill, where neither person on the treadmill realizes the real help that, I'm exhausted, I need to get off and pee and stuff like that. When neither one realizes that the answer is turn off the treadmill and get off. And everybody's trying to move the treadmill more slowly, or just overlook that. The evidence of the importance of things like creativity, having a hobby, having connections, having a purpose, laughter is all incredibly well documented. The amount of documentation is not the same as the latest, biologic medication or whatever it is, or latest cardiac procedure, whatever it is. But the strength of the documentation, the strength of the evidence for the importance of these other non-medicine factors factors that aren't pills and procedures, basically, for health, is very solid, and it's out there, and the evidence speaks very loudly. But doctors, when they do not allow themselves to have any of those healthful factors, rest, relaxation, connection with others, hobbies, purpose, and all of that, when they don't allow that for themselves, they cannot see how it is important for their patients. Really, they can't. It almost comes down to the ill stuck on the treadmill, trying to help the ill also stuck on a treadmill. And nobody's there to put the pieces together and say, let's turn off the treadmill and get off. That might lower our blood pressure, right? And that might lower our blood pressure. And that's because the doctor brain is, when you're in overwhelm, you're not able to see those wider possibilities, to bring that in, to synthesize all of it. So let me ask you a question right now, and you can comment below if you want, but it doesn't really matter. I just want you to ponder this. If you are someone right now who is feeling overwhelmed, and you've taken time to watch this, congratulations to you. That's perfect. That's awesome. But if you are feeling overwhelmed and you are telling yourself that you can't take the time, you're too overwhelmed to take the time to figure out how not to be overwhelmed, right? Or you are so busy, you don't have the time to stop figuring out how not to be busy, i.e. how to get off the treadmill, how to just step off it. Ask yourself, if a patient came to you with your describing exactly how you feel internally, what would you tell them? What would you want for them? Like, that's really the thing. What would you want for that person? If a person came to you, a patient came to you and entrusted their health, their mental, emotional, physical health to you, and described exactly the way you feel to you, what would you want for them? You need to want that for you too. When you want that for you, and when you get off the treadmill for you and stop trying to be a good doctor, you will actually become a great doctor. All right, that's all I've got for you now. Thanks for watching.